Hi, thanks very much for joining me for another Marketing Monday. This is where every Monday morning for free on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, you and I can have an interactive conversation about how to market and promote your mediation or arbitration practice. I've got my cup of coffee right here, caramel latte for today. Mm, I hope your coffee is as good as mine. All right, today it's Monday, and it is for a lot of us Memorial Day and a holiday, but that doesn't mean that we're not in business all of the rest of the year. So, we want to talk today about 14 insanely effective ways to connect with anyone you meet. Um, One of the people that I worked with, Sherry, pointed out, gave a compliment. Not sure it's merited or not, but gave me a compliment about the way in which I seem to authentically connect with people on video and in person, and that was a trait that she admired. Thank you very much, Sherry, for the compliment. I appreciate that. But it is maybe not something that all of us can just do naturally. Some of us are quite good at it, others of us struggle at it. So I thought I'd make a list of some of the ways that you might be able to better connect either with people that you're networking with or people that you'd like to have as clients, maybe even clients or parties in the room when you're feeling like you just haven't quite clicked yet. And as mediators and arbitrators, that is one of the things that we need to do really well. And you would think that as professional communicators, it would be natural for us. But for a lot of us, it's hard work. We have to work at it. It's a skill set that we have to acquire and then practice at. We've talked before, if you've seen other Marketing Mondays, about the idea that the reason we get hired as the neutral is that people first they have to know about us, they have to like what they know about us, but ultimately they have to trust us. And one of the ways that we can create that kind of trust is by finding a way to connect with someone authentically. And so I've made a list of 14 really, I think, quite easy ways for you to connect to people in an authentic way. And that will help you, one, in your practice development, two, actually in the room. So let's get started on our short list. All right. Hello, Helen from Ontario, Canada. Bonjour, bienvenue. C'est Marketing Monday. All right, let's get started. So I think sometimes as business people need to remember that it is a great gift to be able to connect with people. And we get quite good at what we're doing. We've practiced for a long time. We feel really comfortable with it. But it's always good to go back and with a critical eye, really look at what we're doing. Are we really making connectivity? Are we really reaching these people? Do they really feel heard by us? Because we get into a groove and we do what we do all day, every day, and might be that we've developed some bad habits. But relationships of any kind require work, hard work. It's personal relationship or a business relationship. We have to make that effort. But it's through this effort, it's through acquiring and refining these skills that I think we can do a much better job for ourselves and for our clients. And one of the easiest pieces of advice that I can give you for connecting with people is just to smile. And I know it sounds like a really small thing. And maybe you've heard this before. If when you're on the telephone with someone and you're smiling, the person on the other end, even though they can't see you, they hear in your voice that you're smiling and it's authentic and it's real. And it changes the way you speak and it changes the way that your information is received. And in video, smile. And I know it's kind of a strange situation to do an online mediation and greet people and say hello because you're looking at the camera and you're not looking at their face on the screen. And there's this sometimes strange disconnect. But trust me, if you're smiling, it changes your voice, it changes your face, it changes the way you hold your body. Smiling is really important. And then, of course, if you're networking face to face and in person, smiling is amazingly magical to create a connection. Now, you don't want to go around with some smarmy, artificially affixed grin to your face. So if it's not easy for you to smile, maybe practice at it. Maybe, I don't know, watch funny cat or dog videos on YouTube and get a good laugh in, and then step into your networking event. But smiling, it really does make a difference. It could be a tender smile. It could be a smile of understanding. It could be a smile of joy, any kind of smile, but a sincere smile goes wonders. And then 2, again, very simple, but make eye contact. I'm frequently surprised when I go to a networking event at how rare it is for someone to make true eye contact with me. They might look at me, but then they look away, and it makes me wonder if they're just thinking about the next thing they want to say to me, or maybe I've made a misstep and they're thinking about the person that they want to talk to next, or they're hungry or something else. But when you don't have that eye contact, that meaningful eye contact, it does make the other person sort of wonder. And again, when you're on video like this, it's difficult, because if we're in a Zoom meeting, I can't look at your face. I can from time to time look down, but then to have the other person have the perception that I'm making eye contact, I have to look at the camera, the eye of the camera. And that's a strange thing to do. I'll tell you one of the tricks that I used to get used to really looking at the eye of the camera. Sherry, the same person who paid me the compliment about my communication skills, she gave me these little, the googly eyes that have the sticky backs that you would use for scrapbooking or puppeteering or something like that. And she gave me 2 googly eyes, and I put them one on either side of the eye of the camera so that I was looking at the camera's eyes. And that helped me reimagine a conversation, even unilaterally. It is a bit weird, and I understand. And let's see. Hi, David. You're always so good to join. And there's Jason from Norwich, England. Hi, Jason. Nice to have you with me. And who else is here? From Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, my goodness. Hi, Martin. How are you? All right. So, welcome, everybody. So, we make eye contact, we smile, and I know these are small things, but they really do make a big difference in the perception of our ability to connect with people. The other thing that I want to chat to you a little bit about is scheduling time, quality time, not just an SMS or an email. If this is a person whose business you really value, or this is a connection in networking who can be a source of referral for you, or whatever the situation might be, you want to be sure that you have taken the time to truly connect with that person via phone or in person or on video, so that you can have a true conversation, a true dialogue, so that you can ask the open-ended questions, let them know that you've heard them, maybe make changes to the way things are going to happen, make sure that you've got all of the information, make sure that they're comfortable. And so really just not a lot of time, but take that time to make sure that a potential client or a client or the parties in the room really have had your full undivided attention. And this is one of those moments where you don't want to be shuffling paperwork or sending a text on your phone or talking to the dog, or sorting through emails on your iPad. Have a true, authentic, focused moment with these folks. They can sense it. We can, as humans, we know when we're not the priority. And if you don't make us the priority, it's hard for us to make you the priority. It's pretty simple math. So schedule that quality time. And I know that's usually a phrase that we reserve for loved ones, but clients need to feel that kind of attention too, or prospective clients need that attention too. And then the next one that I want to talk about is generally just sort of how you pay attention to other people, how you listen to others. Are you hearing them speak, but you don't really listen to what they say? And these are things that we generally learn as new mediators. And if you've been mediating or arbitrating for a while, it might be a good idea to go back to some of those very basic tenets of your initial training and think about your listening skills, your communication skills. Are you really listening, or are you just formulating a response for the next thing? Are you assuming that this is what they're saying and you've got a sort of a canned delivery response, right? So you really want to be sure that you revisit the idea of authentic listening, really trust your instincts for those dialogues and let them happen naturally. Let people be heard. And we talked, about having to be present, be focused, be intentional with your listening and your communication. These are really, really important. And here's Victor from Edmonton. Yay, my Canadian folks. And Olamipo from Abuja, Nigeria. If you haven't been to Abuja, Nigeria, I highly recommend everyone go visit. Beautiful country, lovely people. You'll really enjoy it. It's not one of those things you'll regret. All right, let's talk about also some of the I don't know how to say it, the goes and the no-goes. These are the things that we have to consider when, well, listen, we all have things that work for us and things that don't. We all do. We all have those boundaries. We all have things that we need from relationships, including interpersonal business relationships, like a client and a mediator, or a party and a mediator. And when those boundaries, when those things on our list get crossed, when we feel like things have been stepped upon, we have the potential to compromise or even disintegrate that relationship, and we don't want to do that. So when we're making real connectivity with folks, we want to be able to just ask them what's important to them. What things would cause them to reconsider being in a relationship, a business relationship with you, or vice versa, so that we understand right from the get-go what is that person wants, and what is their limit, and what do they prefer, and what do they really want us to not do. This might be something as easy as in a networking environment, and you exchange business cards, and you simply ask, would it be okay if I email you that article that we were talking about? Or would you be okay if I add you on LinkedIn, right? Just those simple, polite, considerate, professional questions can help you establish where that person is in the dialogue and in the communication. Not difficult, but important. All right. Next on my list of things that I wanted to chat to you about is how to invite a conversation with someone by using your own personal life or your own practice. And this is kind of a strange thing for most of us, because as neutrals, we have to remain neutral. But these are the little things that create a dialogue as opposed to a monologue. This is the difference between you shaking someone's hand and introducing yourself. You exchange your name and the name of your practice, and then you give your elevator pitch, and then you move on to the next person. And that's a monologue. We're really looking for a dialogue, right? A dialogue, again, that effective connectivity. And you can do this pretty easily, I think, by allowing the other person to have a glimpse of just that little humanizing sliver of who we are. And then, maybe recognize that we are interested in getting a sliver of information back from them. A whole slice would be nice too, but we're in the business of being neutral. So you have to keep it balanced. But, you could start a conversation, that's an easy one. Weather, you stay away from the hot spots, politics, religion, etc. But you could, talk about the safe things. You could talk about the cut of their suit, or, gosh, that looks like British tailor had, a hand in cutting your suit. You spend a lot of time in England. It could be any number of things. But the idea here is that you want to present enough humanizing information about yourself and then ask the other person to reciprocate, so that it's kind of a tit for tat situation, so that they get to talk about what is generally their favorite topic, them. And as mediators and arbitrators, we should be pretty good at asking those kinds of open-ended, questions without making the other person sound like they're being interrogated, or feel rather like they're being interrogated. We want to encourage the dialogue, not the monologue. And so this could be, hobbies. This could be, your latest shopping trip. It could be, something that just sort of encourages the natural evolution of a conversation. And one of the ways that I like to do that, well, I like to do this for lots of different reasons, but in every situation that I have with someone, I always try to find something really unique, really lovely, really beautiful, really fun, really interesting about that person, and then pay them a compliment about that. So I don't know, there's always something. I can find, something lovely about everyone that I meet. I love your haircut. What a beautiful jewelry, you have. I love the earrings. Or where in the world did you find those shoes? They're magnificent. Or my gosh, your speech was so well thought out. How, do you practice at it a lot? Really well done. I can find a reason to give a compliment to everyone that I have an interaction with. And I think that it's received really well when I do it because I mean it. I'm not just paying the person a compliment to, be in their good graces, or to warm them up, or to get something from them. I find something about them that I really truly appreciate. So many people have a beautiful smile. You can say, gosh, what a beautiful smile. That's exactly what I needed early on a Monday morning. It could be anything, but it needs to be true. And then you need to deliver it in such a way that it is appropriate and honest, right? So you don't want to say anything that's not appropriate. You don't want to go out of bounds in that way. But find something that you can compliment the person on, something that you mean, something that is true and correct, and pay them a compliment. Having that kind of affirmation, that kind of positivity, that kind of thoughtfulness means a lot to a lot of us, and particularly to those of us who are struggling with whatever issues are in our lives at the moment. And it seems like the list just gets longer and longer for lots of us. So now's a really good time to be a bit more gentle with people and remind them that they are lovely for whatever reason you find. So pay a compliment when you have the opportunity. And then, of course, paying attention to the person that you're talking with. We talked, I said just a minute ago, by giving people your full focus, your full attention. One, they deserve it. And so, I'll from time to time have someone that I'm talking with, and all of a sudden, I think I've got too many things going on. I'm drinking a coffee. The phone, is ringing. I've got emails coming in. I have the dog asking for a walk. I've got all of these things, and I have to just stop and say to the person that I'm talking with, you know what? Hold on just 1 minute. Let me put these other things down so that I can give you my full attention. You deserve it. So give me 1 second. Let me wrap up these other things, and then I'm all yours. And when I do that, I truly mean it. Everything else is off. Everything else is put aside. And that person on that video call, or that person at that meeting, gets my full attention. And by letting people know and feel and understand that they have your full attention, your rapt attention, they feel valued, they feel heard. And that creates, again, that connectivity that is so important for us for practice development and for the work that we do. We don't want people to feel like, you just don't care about them, or that you're just in it to get another case. You're just in it to, build your portfolio of clients. You're just in it for the money. We don't want to do that, right? And one of the easier ways in almost every conversation, and again, this is something that we all should be really good at. One of the easier things for us to do is ask questions. Really focus on getting to know the other person. Really invest in asking them some questions about how their firm works, or how it works with their clients, or what their specialty niche is, and how did they get to that niche. All of those kinds of things. Ask those questions. Make that person understand that they are, a valuable connection in your practice and in your career. Well, hello from Tampa, Florida. Ooh, nice place to be. That's Adrian. Nice to see you, Adrian. All right. Now, this is one that I struggle with. The next thing on my list of effective ways to connect. This is my weakness. This is my kryptonite, and it's remembering names. And I know people who are so good at this. My husband can do this. He can remember the name of someone that he met 2 decades ago on another continent in another language. And he can tell you all about the restaurant where we were and what we were wearing and why we were there and what we were talking about. And he has that ability to remember those names. And I don't. I really struggle with it. And I think that one of the ways that we can put people off is in a networking environment to say right off the get-go, I'm so bad with names. That just signals to people that this conversation is not really going to be very meaningful. So we don't want to do that. If you are bad at names, you're going to want to keep it to yourself. And then second, you're going to want to develop a couple of techniques to make it easier for you to remember the name. One of the easiest things to do is when someone holds out their hand or you meet them online. So if you and I were face to face and I would hold out my hand to shake hands with you and I would say, hi, my name is Natalie, what's yours? And you would say, hi, Natalie, my name is David. And I would say, David, it's so nice to meet you. David, that's the name of my favorite uncle, or that's my dad's name, or, whatever it is. And I would find a way to be able to repeat David's name several times within the first 2 minutes of our having a dialogue. And the repetition of David's name, David, 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 will make it easier for me to remember his name. The other thing that I can do is I have a little cheat system. And that is I can remember 8, maybe 12 names in conversations when I'm at a big networking event, and there are hundreds and hundreds of mediators and arbitrators. And as I'm exchanging cards and information with them, I'll collect those cards in my pocket. And then once I get 8, 10, 12 of them, then I will step out into the lobby or into the hallway or into a lounge area and make notes on the back of their business card. What did we talk about? Did I say I was going to send you an article? Did I say, oh, I'd like to, follow up with you about your blog? What was the conversation about? And then I have to study the conversation and the name and the conversation and the name, and I have to work at it. It does take effort, but it can be done. And one of the most insulting things you can do with someone that you're really trying to have that connectivity with is to get their name wrong. We don't want to do that. We absolutely don't want to do that. One of the other things that we don't want to do when we're trying to create an authentic connection with someone is to talk over the other person and make sure that they understand that we know everything about everything. And that's a challenge in an industry where we're so specialized by practice area. We can't, any of us, know everything about everything. I find it's much more efficient and effective when someone says, what do you think about the new algorithmic repercussions of YouTube doing whatever they're doing, or whatever the question is? And if I don't know, it's much, much better for me to say out loud, gosh, I don't know, but that's a really interesting question. What do you think about it? Right? They brought it up. They clearly have been thinking about it. So I just asked the question. You should never, even if you think you know the right answer, let other people know that you for sure are the end all be all authority on that particular topic matter. That's a bit off-putting. So don't pretend you know everything. And even if you suspect you know a lot more than that person, engage in the dialogue. You may very well, actually, in all likelihood, you'll learn something. You'll get something back in the conversation. One, they're going to feel like they've been heard, and you get the information and you build that relationship. So important, so important. And we don't ever want to be off-putting by, being the smartest person in the room. The other thing is, I think authentic connectivity comes when you really, truly care about the other person. It's a lot of different things that go into that. But when you really, truly like other humans, the other humans sense it. They know it. If you're not really a people person And some of us aren't. There are some of us who go to a dinner party and always ask, do you have a dog? And we go and pet the dog in the back garden. So for some of us, people are not our favorite mammals or reptiles even. That's just not our thing. But for building practice development, we do want to care about our clients. We should care about them, and it should be an authentic caring situation. And to convey that is important. We want to create the connectivity by conveying to them that we do care about them. We care about their business, their practice, their clients. We care. We do. We really, truly do care. And you can convey that in lots of little ways in your communication style. You can convey that in the way that you set up your hearing room and ask them, do you have, or your clients have, any special dietary needs that I need to take into account? Do you have a preference about the lighting? Are you comfortable in this neighborhood, or would you like for me to point out some restaurants where you can go and have a coffee or a lunch while we're working? It's little things, saying good morning, saying thank you, saying please. It's the big things, it's the little things, but it's reinforcing the idea that we all appreciate the feeling of being appreciated. We all want to be cared about. And when you can provide that for somebody else, it just deepens that connection. Hello, Jacob in Kenya, another beautiful country. All right. And then, of course, lastly, it always comes down to this, and that is to be authentic. Don't put on airs. Don't try to act, through any of these ideas or concepts. Be true to you. Be authentic to you. We, as humans, we know when you are masquerading as someone else. We know when you're putting on airs. We know when you're being inauthentic. So just be you, be authentically you, and share a bit of you with the people that you want to have a connection with. It really does work. So that is it for me and Marketing Monday. My goodness, it went by fast, but those are 14, I think, insanely effective ways to connect with pretty much anybody you meet. Build your practice, build your connections, build your sources of referral, but communicate, connect, be authentic. You've got this. You can do it. If you have any questions, any requests, need anything at all, please put a note in the comments section. If you want me to talk about something in upcoming Marketing Monday episodes, let me know and I'll dive into those topics. But for the most part, thank you so much for joining me. I wish you all the best. Be good humans. Take care.